My girlfriend and I fell in love while skiing, so last year during our vacation in Colorado, we chose to rent a small cabin near Vail Mountain. We took a taxi from the airport to the car rental, where we got a Honda Civic, probably the cheapest car we could find. We drove along a muddy road that kept going uphill, eventually turning onto an even more forested trail until we finally reached the cabin. Despite being far from others, it wasn't too remote, making it convenient for us to access the ski slopes. The landlord had hidden the keys in the mailbox, and as I opened the door and stepped inside, we were greeted by the scent of wood, just as you would expect. The cabin wasn't large, but the space was spacious enough, with a bedroom, a bathroom, a nice living room equipped with a TV and a kitchen. I had spent a little money to rent the place, so I was quite satisfied with it, especially since we were here for skiing rather than staying indoors. As we arrived in the evening, we didn't head to the ski slopes that day. We simply unloaded our luggage and went out to buy pizza for dinner. When we returned, we sat on the couch in the living room, eating pizza and watching a movie. The dim lighting and the ambience of the entire cabin indeed felt romantic. However, the atmosphere took a turn when my girlfriend suddenly became anxious about her purse. The place where she had left her bag, the coffee table in the living room, was nowhere to be found. Despite the small space, we searched everywhere. She was certain she had left it on the coffee table, but it wasn't in the bathroom, kitchen, or living room. So I checked the bedroom and found the bag right beside the bed. I walked out of the bedroom holding the bag with a slight smile, but my girlfriend didn't seem as relieved as I expected. Instead, she accused me of touching her bag and searching through it, which left me feeling quite annoyed. We had some arguments until I convinced her that she had indeed left the bag there and simply forgotten. We went back to the couch to continue eating pizza and watching the movie, quickly forgetting about the argument. The next day, we headed to the ski slopes early in the morning and skied until dusk. Upon returning to the cabin, we immediately noticed the living room light was on. My girlfriend was a bit nervous, but I assured her it was probably one of us who had accidentally left the light on since we hadn't noticed it during daylight. So we sat down to eat, watch a movie, and suddenly my girlfriend screamed. I jumped up, looking at her, and she had one hand over her mouth, pointing at something on the floor. Initially, I hadn't noticed it, but as I approached, I saw, in the corner of the living room, on the carpet, there were slightly wet boot prints where snow had melted off the boots, leaving damp spots. Obviously, we both wore boots, but I didn't recall stepping there. My girlfriend demanded that I thoroughly check the cabin to make her feel safe, so I searched under the kitchen table, behind the living room couch, in the bathroom, and even peeked into the bedroom. There seemed to be no place for anyone to hide in the cabin, and indeed there was nowhere to hide. Nevertheless, my girlfriend still felt scared, seemingly losing all interest in the movie. She went to brush her teeth in the bathroom and then changed clothes in the bedroom. I heard her jump onto the bed. I also turned off the lights and got into bed. We sat there chatting for a while. It was only around 9 or 10. My girlfriend kept telling me she felt uncomfortable, believing there was someone in the cabin, so I told her to wait and took out my phone to dial the Airbnb host's number. I put the phone to my ear and heard the ringing. Not from the phone speaker, but a loud, muffled ringing coming from behind the wall beside the bed. After the call was declined, my girlfriend started screaming. I told her to calm down and went to the wall beside the bed. I noticed a tiny crack on the left wall, resembling a door. My girlfriend screamed not to open it. I felt angry and shouted loudly. Then I opened the door, facing a small, hidden closet where a man was hiding behind a box in the corner. It was the landlord, the owner of the cabin, whom I had seen in the listing photos. I have to admit, seeing him, I felt fear and shock, but anger consumed me. I grabbed his shirt and pulled him out. He immediately raised his hands in apology, but I told him to shut up. I delved into the closet and found my girlfriend's underwear, which disgusted me. The police arrived too slowly, but eventually he was arrested. We had to spend the rest of that night in a hotel, and the next day we went home. I requested compensation from Airbnb, which took a month to refund, but they eventually did. The story is so weird and disturbing that I don't even know how to believe it, let alone tell it. But it's all too true.